KORK North Bay, your source for news and happenings throughout the North Bay.
Hello and thanks for watching KORK North Bay TV. Coming up is our weekend wrap covering all of the news stories and happenings throughout the greater San Francisco North Bay. In the town of Sonoma last weekend, I was out doing my grocery shopping at our local Lucky store in the Maxwell Village Shopping Center, and as I walked up to get my shopping cart, I noticed something a bit odd with a car that was parked right where the shopping carts were supposed to be. After stopping to speak with one of the officers at the scene for what had happened, he said an older gentleman mistook his gas pedal for his brake pedal and lost control of his car, which wound up right in the middle of the shopping cart area, wedged between the building and the pillar holding up the roof. Thankfully, no one was hit or injured. When I was done with my shopping, I came out and a tow truck was there winching the car out so it could get towed away. Thankfully, I wasn't there a few minutes earlier getting my shopping cart, or your favorite news anchor might have been a permanent fixture against that wall. All kidding aside, I'm glad no one was hurt. In Santa Rosa on Saturday evening, just before 9 p.m., a DoorDash driver was out delivering food orders in the downtown area on the 500 block of 4th Street. To run the food into the customer, the driver stepped out of the black Toyota Prius, leaving it running, and while making the speedy food delivery, a man decided to jump into the Prius and make a dash of his own by stealing the car. 911 was called to report the stolen vehicle, and Santa Rosa police began monitoring flock license plate reading cameras throughout the area to locate the vehicle. About an hour later, the car was picked up on one of those cameras, so officers rushed to the area and were able to locate it, so they attempted to pull it over. But the driver had other ideas and decided to floor it and make a run for it, so the chase was on. The officers in pursuit radioed other patrol units in the area, who began setting up spike strips at the exit points of the neighborhood that the chase was going through. During the chase, the driver rammed 2 patrol cars to continue his getaway. Finally, though, patrol units were able to block him off and get the vehicle stopped, and then took the suspect into custody. The suspect was identified as 31-year-old Sergio Villalobos Espinoza and was booked into Sonoma County Jail on several felony charges, including felony evading, assault with a deadly weapon against a peace officer, and an enhanced penalty for being a repeat offender because, according to police, this clown has had 13 prior vehicle theft arrests throughout both Sonoma County and Mendocino County. In Santa Rosa, while everyone is celebrating Cinco de Mayo, one of those celebrations was being held on the west side of town in the Sebastopol Road and Avalon Avenue area. At about 8:30 that evening, police officers assigned to patrol that area during the festivities heard gunshots coming from the direction of Dutton Avenue. Suddenly, a young man in his 20s was seen running towards the officers, suffering from a gunshot wound that was said to be life-threatening, so they called for medics while they waited with the injured young man. Once medics arrived, they immediately transported him to the hospital, where he was later listed in stable condition. Officers learned that an altercation had occurred in the Roseland Library parking lot located on the 400 block of Sebastopol Road, where a suspect pulled a gun and began shooting multiple times, with one of the rounds striking the victim and another hitting a taco truck where a crowd of people were gathered. Then the suspect fled the scene. After the initial investigation began, officers were able to identify one of the suspects involved through witnesses at the scene as 19-year-old Gustavo Lopez Urate, a resident of Ukiah. The investigation continued on through the night, and then early the next morning at 3 a.m., officers spotted Gustavo in his vehicle in the area of Ridley Avenue and Jennings Avenue, which is about a mile or so north from where the shooting took place. Officers were able to take him into custody without incident. As the investigation continued, officers were able to gather enough information to identify the shooter in the incident as 18-year-old Sebastian Ramirez, a resident of Rohnert Park. So a search warrant and an arrest warrant were obtained, and the next day on Thursday, just before 8:30 in the evening, sheriff's deputies, along with a SWAT team, went down to Ramirez's house located on a 6000 block of Diane Court and took Ramirez into custody without incident. The firearm used in the shooting was not found. However, they did find clothing matching the descriptions they got from him at the scene, so he was booked into Sonoma County Jail on a number of charges, including attempted murder and several gang-related charges. According to police, this was in fact a gang-related incident and not a random shooting. The investigation is ongoing in case other suspects were involved. In Rohnert Park on Friday at most people's favorite burger joint, In-N-Out Burger on Redwood Drive, in the middle of the afternoon at about 1 o'clock, some genius thought it would be a great idea to start painting graffiti in the parking lot, so a manager came out to tell the guy to stop and leave. When the man got in his car to flee the scene, he hit the manager with his vehicle. The police were called or showed up and began their investigation. While this was going on, the Cotati Police Department received a call about a guy vandalizing gas pumps at the town's Speedway Express gas station and fled the scene. Just a few minutes later, another call came into Cotati Police that a man was now vandalizing a home not far from the gas station that was just vandalized, so officers began patrolling the area looking for the vehicle described in all three events. And at about 2:20 that afternoon, they spotted the vehicle driving along East Cotati Avenue, so they pulled it over. Inside the car was a man who fit the description seen at all three of the previous locations, but he refused to comply with the officers and would not come out of the car. After asking him nicely time and time again, officers finally decided to remove him from the vehicle by force and took him into custody. He was identified as 44-year-old Nicholas O'Rourke, a resident of Santa Rosa, who at the age of 44 is still doing stupid juvenile things like painting graffiti and vandalizing property. He was booked into Sonoma County Jail on a number of charges, including assault with a deadly weapon for running into the In-N-Out Burger manager with his car as he was fleeing the scene. In Santa Rosa on Wednesday, just before 11 o'clock at night, a fire broke out in a mobile home located at 128 Coronado Circle, which is inside the Rancho Cabeza mobile home park off of Calistoga Road on the eastern side of town in Rincon Valley. Smoke in the night sky glow from the flames could be seen for miles as fire crews from the City of Santa Rosa Fire Department rushed to the scene. When they arrived, the home was fully engulfed in flames, so they immediately went to work on getting it under control, as well as protecting the homes on either side of it from catching on fire as well. The three residents of the home had already self-evacuated. Two of them were transported to the hospital for smoke inhalation and for minor burns. The fire also involved and damaged vehicles parked between that unit and the ones next to it. Residents in homes on either side of that home were evacuated with the help of firefighters, and thankfully all were safe, although homes right next to the burning one were damaged a bit from the heat and from smoke damage as well. In all, 5 people were displaced by the fire, including residents of the adjacent homes, but the Red Cross is helping them with temporary housing. Damage from the fire is estimated to be around $300,000. The cause of the fire wasn't known at the time, but it is under investigation. On Tuesday afternoon in the town of Guerneville, an 86-year-old woman crossing the street at the first main intersection of town when coming from the Santa Rosa area at Armstrong Woods Road was struck by a vehicle and killed. She was identified as 86-year-old Gwen Zimmerman, a resident of Lake Stevens, Washington. This tragic incident took place at about 1:50 in the afternoon when a Dodge Ram truck was traveling north on First Street and went to turn left on the River Road. The woman was in the crosswalk at the time and did activate the signal light for her to walk. The woman suffered major injuries and was taken by ambulance to Santa Rosa Memorial Hospital, where tragically she passed away late that same night. The driver of the Ram pickup truck was identified as 61-year-old Darren Dempsey, a resident of Guerneville, who police say was driving under the influence, so he was arrested for DUI and other charges and then booked into Sonoma County Jail. According to jail booking records, Dempsey was released the next day on Thursday afternoon. Our condolences go out to the woman's family. On Sunday in the town of Lakeport at about 8 o'clock in the evening, a 36-year-old man went to go use the public restroom in Zabaton Community Park on North Main Street, and while he was in there, another man came in and began stabbing the victim multiple times. In all, the victim was stabbed 6 times in the torso area, causing life-threatening injuries. Police arrived and tried to get details about the suspect from the victim, but he was in and out of consciousness and couldn't speak. He was rushed by helicopter to a hospital in another county that's better equipped to treat such severe wounds, where he's now listed in stable condition. Thanks to surveillance cameras in the area, detectives were able to get a good description of the suspect, as well as a woman in the same area as a witness, so an extensive search began to locate the suspect. On Monday, at about 7:30 in the morning, an officer on patrol spotted a man matching the description of the suspect near the same park, so he was apprehended. The suspect was identified as 38-year-old Brian Veravongza, a resident of Lakeport, who apparently has an extensive record of violent felony arrests, including while on probation after serving state prison sentences. Plus, he was on probation under post-release community supervision during this violent stabbing event as well. He was transported to Lake County Jail on charges for the stabbing and for yet another violation of his probation. We're sorry that this 36-year-old victim had to encounter a repeat offending violent thug like Mr. Veravongza, and are glad that he's expected to make a full recovery. Let's hope this time Veravongza remains behind bars where he belongs for a long, long time. But unfortunately, with how things have been going with the current revolving door of justice, don't hold your breath on that. On Sunday in the Lake County town of Lower Lake, a person was out mowing the vegetation around their home on Perini Road just before 10 o'clock in the morning when the mower caused some sparks and set the grass on fire, which unfortunately spread to their home. When fire crews from the Lake County Fire Protection District arrived, the home was fully engulfed in flames, so they began attacking it to get it under control and to keep it from spreading any further, which they were able to do. Unfortunately, though, the home was a total loss. Fire crews remained at the scene for 5 hours to put out any hot spots and for additional cleanup. No injuries were reported. This broadcast is sponsored by Mike Larbury Automotive. 5-star ratings for all of your domestic and import automotive repair needs, located on Highway 12 in Sonoma. Mention you saw them here on KORK TV to receive a special discount. And also by Sonoma Paint Center, your source for all of your home and automotive paint and supply needs.
Transform your home or business with Sonoma Paint Center. As your local Benjamin Moore retailer, we've got everything you need to paint inside and out, plus top quality stains. Step inside our Santa Rosa location or visit us in Sonoma, Sebastopol, and now our newest location in Napa. From vibrant colors to durable finishes and required supplies, we'll help you bring your vision to life. Sonoma Paint Center, serving you in Santa Rosa, Sonoma, Sebastopol, and now Napa. Sonoma Paint Center, color your world.
Well, that's it for our weekend wrap. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We'll see you again on Friday for our weekly wrap. Remember, you can watch us on our website at KORKTV.com or on our YouTube channel. Just search for KORK North Bay TV. And if you watch us on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe to us. We'd sure appreciate it. We'd like to wish everyone a safe, happy, and healthy week. Thanks for watching.